Today on the show, we have Rheanna, a 26-year-old accountant and office manager. She started ballet with us for the first time a little over a year ago and recently went up on pointe. In this episode, we talk about ballet as a stress relief, the challenges of perfectionism and pirouettes, and why she loves to dress the part in class. Enjoy! Tell me about you first. What got you started with ballet? What do you do outside of ballet? What's your career, occupation? Tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
So I started ballet almost a year and a half ago. I'd been taking barre classes for 3 years and I was going through a really stressful time at work. So I just wanted to add another activity to help take my mind off it. And I thought, well, maybe I could try ballet. And I had no experience. I never danced as a kid. I honestly wasn't even sure if I'd be able to. And then I had my 30-minute preview lesson with you, and that's how I started.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. I thought, wow, I can actually do this, because I was expecting to be like, no, you started too late, you're not the right body type. But I had my lesson with you, and you were like, oh no, you can do this. So,
and now you're on pointe and everything.
Yeah.
In fact, we just finished pointe class together 5 minutes ago. That's awesome. So work was stressful. What kind of work do you do?
So I am an accountant and office manager for an economics consulting firm.
All of those words sound stressful.
Yeah, it is.
And I know you mentioned when we were trying to set this up that you had a super stressful week this last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So so how do you take care of yourself when work is really stressful? Do you still prioritize exercise? How do you that's something that we all deal with as adults, is like, how do you take care of yourself when you're stressed?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely prioritize exercise. I'm still doing my barre classes, and then I signed up for the Prima Pass this past October, so I try and take as many ballet classes as possible.
All the time, dancing all the time.
Yeah, I love Kristen's 6 a.m. class.
Really start the day off right. That's right. Yeah, that's good. It's hard to remember to prioritize yourself when you're stressed. Do you ever want to just not come to class and prefer to just stay at home, or how do you combat that kind of feeling?
Yeah, so some days I just don't want to. I just want to curl up on my couch with a movie and some really unhealthy food, but then I remind myself how much better I'll feel if I actually take care of myself and go to class.
Yeah, it works every time.
Yeah, plus I'm addicted now to ballet, so I have to go and get my fix.
So you're addicted to it, right? Well, yeah, welcome to the club, right? Everyone's so addicted to it. What is it about ballet that keeps you wanting to come back? What do you enjoy the most about it?
I love how controlled and structured it is, but I also love that at Broche that you can have fun, and if you mess up, nobody's going to yell at you. Worst case scenario, people laugh not at you, but with you. And I don't know what it is about it, but like it gets inside of you and then you just can't stop.
Yeah, it is. It really does. It's also very pretty. It's very fun to watch and to be a part of. When you're dancing, we always, especially ballet dancers love the control and the structure of it. Mm-hmm. What is your biggest challenge when it comes to the things that aren't as controlled and structured, right? Like when we talk about pirouettes, when we talk about some footwork, is that challenging?
It is, yeah. I'm still working on pirouettes. They're hard. The pirouette panic is real, but I'm getting there.
So we obviously know what the pirouette panic is here at Broche, right? What is the pirouette panic? Tell those of us who don't know about it yet. What's the pirouette panic?
For me, at least, it's when you go to try to do a pirouette or a quarter turn or a half turn. And with me, at least, I kind of just freeze and get stuck in a plie. You're like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then I just get frozen because I get in my head and I just can't sometimes.
And then sometimes you forget which leg to pick up, right? Not just
Yes.
but like anyone, you forget which leg to pick up, you forget which direction you were supposed to go, you forget which arm is supposed to be front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, forget even where you're supposed to be looking, what way you're supposed to turn.
I had a dancer once in one of my classes who actually was also a brain scientist, which was fascinating. And I loved having her in class because she knew all of the science behind these things that we would talk about and come up with. And she was saying that the pirouette panic actually is a real thing, and that your brain actually has like a fight or flight response to a pirouette, like the same way as if a bear was standing in front of you. And so like your system's like shut down, your brain actually goes into like that mode where you can't see anything, and you can't feel anything, and you can't think straight. Does that sound accurate?
Yeah, it does.
I've known people who get that with footwork too. Do you get that with footwork as well? Like a balancé, waltz turn, or is that just like only with regular turns?
Mostly just with regular turns.
They're scary.
Yeah, but I need to just practice them more and it'll get better.
Yeah. So a little different topic. I want to talk a little about your journey with pointe shoes. I know it was a difficult one in the very beginning, and I think a lot of people who are listening or reading will really resonate with your journey. So if you don't mind talking about a little bit about how you got your first pair and really struggled through it, and kind of getting like kind of overcoming that to where you are today, just having finished pointe class with me. Would you mind talking about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I never thought I would ever be able to go up on pointe. I thought I was too old and that, my legs were too big, and I never thought it would be possible. So I'm really thankful to be able to do that with Broche. But my first pair of pointe shoes were a disaster. They were the worst things ever. I thought it was just me when I got them. I had a really bad fitting experience, but the person said, "These are the shoes for you," and I didn't know anything, so I thought, okay, well, these are the shoes for me. I guess I'll just get used to them. And I wore them to my first class, and they were so stiff I couldn't even go up on pointe. They hurt just to stand on flat, just standing there. And I thought I was going to have to quit pointe because these shoes were so awful. But I went to a different place, Dancewear Extreme, down in Centennial. They are wonderful. And they fitted me with a new pair of shoes, and it changed everything. And now I can pretty much do what I want to. It's still hard and it's still challenging, but it's fun and I love it.
Yeah, it's so hard when you're first starting, and a lot of people will have this experience where they think it's them and they don't realize how important the shoe is in terms of your abilities, especially in the beginning when you don't know what you're supposed to feel. It's very hard to ask the right questions and to know if you agree with the result that the fitter has found for you. That's very tricky. But I'm really glad that you pushed through it and kept going, because that is just the saddest when we feel like we want to quit, and and sometimes we do end up quitting. And as you mentioned, ballet always brings you back, but that's a hard thing to go through.
Yeah, I got so discouraged I almost did quit, and I kind of got in my head and thought, well, I can't do this and I suck and I can't even do a pirouette and blah 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 blah. But then I decided to stick with it, and I'm so happy I did.
Do you know why you stuck with it?
Because I love it.
Simple as that.
Also, getting the new shoes helped.
Yeah, I'm sure that helped. So have you ever wanted to quit for anything else?
Sometimes I'll have a rough class, and for a split second I'll think, well, I'm horrible and I should just quit. But then I think about all the other stuff that I do in ballet that I'm good at and that I like, and remind myself, it was just a hard day and you'll learn and it'll get better.
Yeah, that's good advice. We all go through that. When sometimes you have a bad class that's either too hard, or you had a bad day, or your body doesn't feel right, or whatever happens, and then for whatever reason your mind jumps to the conclusion that you should just end everything.
Yeah, and I think that would be such a waste of all of the time that I did spend on it, and with how much I love it and how much enjoyment I do get out of it, I could never quit.
So Rheanna, if anyone's listening to just audio or reading this, they won't know that you are dressed like a wonderful ballerina right now with a 3/4 sleeve velvet leotard with like a keyhole in the front and a beautiful ballet bun. You always dress to the nines. I don't think I've ever seen you not in tights, leotard, tutu, tiara, the whole thing. Tell me about that. What's your favorite outfit? What do you love about it the most?
I think the one I have on right now is my favorite. I'll stand up so everybody can see me. I have on a skirt that matches my leotard.
The same velvet.
Yeah, velvet. I got it from your store. There's so many cute things, but this has to be one of my favorites. I just love feeling the part when I go to class.
Totally. It's great, especially if you have a hard day. It can actually help if you look the part. You're like, well, but look at that. She looks like a ballerina in the mirror.
Yeah, even if I don't know what I'm doing and I have like really horrible like T-Rex arms, at least I look like I know what I'm doing.
That's right. You can at least feel like you feel the part.
Mm-hmm.
So have you ever come to class not in the ballet outfit? I haven't seen it, but that doesn't mean it hasn't happened.
I have a couple times, but it's pretty rare.
A year and a half later, still every time. I love it.
Yeah, I think the leotards multiply while I'm sleeping. It seems like every few weeks a new one shows up.
Hopefully it's cute. Hopefully they're making like cute leotards in there. Last question for you. What are your goals? What do you want to do with this? Where do you want to go with it? Would you have any specific short-term goals that you're hoping for? Do you have long-term goals? Are you just loving the process and don't really have goals? Where are you at?
Well, I'm definitely loving the process. I would love to get pirouettes down. That's definitely one of my goals this year. And then just keep working on pointe and getting better with that, getting to where I'm not so dependent on the bar. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are my main goals this year.
Getting a pirouette is that's a great one. That's a really great one. Yeah. When you're working towards pirouettes, what is the biggest thing that you're working on right now?
Just little 1/4 and half turns.
Technically, are you working on staying balanced? Are you working on spotting? All of that? What are you trying to learn?
I think the hardest part for me right now is actually I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so I want it to be perfect the first time that I try it, which obviously it won't be, because if it was that easy, everyone would be a perfect ballerina. Right. But the biggest thing I'm working on is just getting my legs where they're supposed to be, staying balanced and staying calm. The
pirouette panic, it's real.
It is.
The pirouette panic is no joke. I think that one of my favorite things for the pirouette panic is to talk to someone while you're practicing your pirouettes. Mm-hmm. So that you're forced to keep your brain coherent while you're trying to work on turning.
That's a really good idea. I haven't tried that before, but I think it would help.
Yeah. Look at something, read something, anything to keep your brain out into the world and not like, hiding in itself. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome, Rheanna. Well, do you have any advice for someone who is like you and who doesn't think that they're going to be able to do it, but has always kind of wanted to try it?
I would say, at least if you want to try it, at least give it a shot. If you decide it's not for you, you don't have to. You're not signing your name down, signing up for the rest of your life. Just try it, and you might find out that you love it, and you might get addicted like the rest of us. But the community at Broche is so wonderful and so supportive. I have absolutely zero regrets.
Awesome. Love it. Well, thanks so much, Rheanna. It was super fun to chat, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
That's all for this episode, dancers. Thanks for listening. For more adult ballet, follow me on Instagram at Julie the Ballerina, our studio at Broche Ballet, or check out our blog and YouTube channels for even more content. You can now also dance with us online. To have your story featured on our podcast, email us at hello@brocheballet.com. Today's show was produced by Jackie Dolman and the YouTube version by Shanoa Rangel. I'm Julie Gill, and this was Broche Banter. Happy dancing!